This is Hopped Up. Yes! Salutations, Internet! We're here at St. Philip's Plaza, southeast corner of Campbell and River. We're about to head into Union Public House, talk to Sir Grant Krueger, Sir Chris Thompson. This place, to me, really harkens back to a turn-of-the-century pub. You have wood floors, marble tabletops, a beautiful tap array. I'm thirsty, so let's grab a beer. Union's got these big open windows. It lets in a lot of natural light so you can check out the lovely waitstaff as well as the outside and see St. Philip's Plaza. Has these rough wood floors, kind of like the inside of an old factory, really well polished marble tabletops. Nick, what's up, man? I know these ladies are lovely, but we gotta keep it under 12 minutes this time, dude. Come on. What's up? We're here talking to Mr. Grant Krueger, Union Public House.
How's it going?
So, Grant, what are we drinking on here right now?
We're drinking the Barrio Brewing's Java Mocha Stout. It's locally brewed here in Tucson. It's got a delicious coffee and chocolate undertone to it. I think you'll find it quite enjoyable.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Because if there's coffee in the beer, it counts for Sunday morning coffee. So let's talk a little bit about Union Public House and why did you guys decide to go with that as a name?
Well, we thought that the Public House moniker was a name that really deserved to come back. Public House was, of course, the precursor to the English, word pub. Right. And at that time, back in England, to have a liquor license, you had to offer rooms as well to the guests, as opposed to just food and beverage. Mm-hmm. But we always liked that word Public House because it was just open and inviting, I think, to the guests. But particularly, we thought that Public House sounded so much better than just pub or bar and restaurant or bar and grill.
So kind of my takeaway from your saying is, like, Public House, I could kind of get hammered here and crash in the kitchen.
We could work that out. There's been a couple nights closing, I think, where we've had to spend the night on these tufted leather couches over here too.
Let's talk a little bit about your background in the industry, and where you come from and why. Because I mean, you guys are still less than a year old.
Absolutely.
But it seems like you're doing like great business here.
We've been really blessed so far. Of course, the restaurant business is always a risky business, but I've got 21 years of industry experience here. What you're really looking to do with something like this is to have that comfortable ambiance of the pub atmosphere that is relaxing and inviting into the neighborhood, but have the food quality be a little higher than what you'd expect out of just a standard American pub or sport bar, per se. I think you need to be a little bit better today.
Well, speaking about sport bars a little bit, we heard you guys had a pretty important person stop in last weekend, I think it was?
Yeah, we actually had 3 visits from David Beckham from the LA Galaxy.
The king of footy.
It was excellent to see. A really great guy. Came in, enjoyed our fish and chips, stopped to do photo opportunities, not just with our staff, with just about every customer that came to tap him on the shoulder and take a picture of him. I mean, I really have to say the guy was really excellent and very courteous.
The tap lines, we talked about those a little bit before, and now correct me if I'm wrong, you're telling me this is one of the largest draft line systems in the United States.
This is a pretty big draft beer system here. There are certainly larger ones if you go to a yard house style environment, but for one continuous tap line over here, it's pretty large to get over 22 feet in length right now. It's a pretty big piece. We had this custom built by Perlick in Milwaukee and then drop shipped over to Tucson, Arizona for us.
If you could have a beer with any famous person, who do you have a beer with?
That's a really tough question. There's a lot of great people out there I'd like to have a beer with. And as much as I'd like to just have a beer with you here, Charles, I think I'd go with Ronald Reagan. I'd like to sit and maybe have a Guinness and chat with one of the greater leaders of our time.
What's the best decision you've made sitting down drinking a beer? And then also, conversely, what's the worst decision you've had sitting down drinking a beer?
Well, many of the best decisions I've had sitting down drinking beer was to come up with restaurants to serve people beer. Right?
Very cool. Like, I would say this is definitely in the win category. Right?
Yeah, most of our business planning for both this and our previous establishments have come under the influence of alcoholic beverages and most certainly beer. And so we wanted to create a beer-centric environment for the casual Tucson drinker to come and enjoy. The worst decisions I've had making a beer, my wife might also say, opening up these restaurants, it requires quite a bit of time and effort and hours, and I don't get home quite as often as I'd like. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much wraps everything up. You know, Grant, we really appreciate your time, man, and
thank you guys.
We love coming into this bar, honestly, at least twice a week or so.
Thanks, we appreciate the support as well. Look forward to sharing a few more pints with you.
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.
We'd like to start things off with some pretzels and a nice hoppy beer, something like Modus Operandi from Scott Brewing Company, which I'm drinking right now. These are some really awesome Bavarian style pretzels. You have a mustard and a cheese sauce. We had an unfortunate incident with the cheese sauce. It's actually mostly all on mixed genes right now. And it's really sad because we prefer the cheese sauce too, so that's where we're at. We're going to start out here. We're going to talk to Grant, get a recommendation from him for an entree, and pair it up with some kind of beer. We'll see where that takes us. Nom, nom, nom. A little bit biased towards the cheese sauce right now. I just think it's fantastic. It's really, I don't even know what's in it. We might have to find out about that. It complements the pretzels pretty well, but it's nice to change it up, get a little bit of the spicy mustard, wash it down with the IPA again. From anything else you guys might have seen us talk about, we like the IPAs and the spice. It always matches very well. But again, something like a pretzel, very basic. They do it exceptionally well, and their sauces, off the charts.
One of my favorite entrees here at Union Public House would have to be the UPH pork. It's a braised Karubi chop, cooked for nearly 8 hours in a cherry Coke sauce, served over a hash brown of smoked Gouda cheese and Newski bacon. It's delicious. I think you're gonna love it.
Yes. Per Grant's recommendation, we have this delicious piece of pork right here. I mean, just take a look at this. Let's try not to dissect it too much, but this just looks fantastic, and the smell coming off it, if you had smell-o-vision, it would be amazing. He paired this up with the Lumberyard Red, so we're gonna dig in, give this a try, see how it tastes. That pork is just peeling off the bone. It's delicious. It's wow. The sauce has got this really nice cherry tomato tone to it. Now, cherry and tomato together, and it's brilliant, frankly. So let's pair a little bit of the beer. And that works out very nicely, because you have this smoky, sweet cherry pork, and you have this kind of malty, red, amber ale, and it tastes good. We're here with Mr. Chris Thompson. He's going to give us a cigar and beer pairing. So Chris, what would you say? What kind of cigar and beer should I have here if I came up here?
Well, if I was going to do a cigar and beer pairing, I would go with our God of Fire. Obviously, it's the cigar on our list I'm most passionate about. It's a collaboration between Arturo and Carlo Fuente.
Okay.
It's 2007. It's a limited production one, and I would pair that up with our Left Hand Milk Stout.
Who is the God of Fire? I don't know, we were just discussing that. This is an excellent full-bodied cigar, and Chris is right on the money with this. It's a very heavy cigar, and the only thing that you could pair it with is something that's a very rich stout that's got a lot of taste, that's not going to overpower the cigar, but complement it nicely. I'll take a nice pull off there. And a nice pull off there. That's just brilliant. It's great. We're about to head into our next segment here. It's something called He Said, She Said. I'm gonna finish my cigar, finish my beer, and then we'll check it out together. she said.
He said.
We both drink. So what I'm going to recommend for drinking here, right now I'm drinking on a Modus Operandi from Ska Brewing Company in Durango, Colorado. I'd say it's very good IPA, a little bit darker in color than what I would normally pick, but it's got a very good hop balance, a little bit more piney than citrusy for the beer. Another beer that I really like here and what I would get, just because I'm a big hophead, is they have Stone Ruination. It's like 120 IBUs. It's going to kick your ass. So if that's the only beer you're drinking, just drink that all night, because anything else, you're not going to taste it.
I'm drinking the Vanilla Bean Porter from Breckenridge Brewing Company, and it's pretty delicious. I would also recommend the Lagunitas IPA. That'll put hair on your chest, and ladies love that. So, delicious!
We're here with Miss Tristan Tucci, triple threat, actor, musician, most importantly, beer lover. We're gonna ask her some hard-hitting questions. Not really. We're just gonna ask her some silly questions to talk about some shit. So you're involved with something called the Beowulf Theater in town. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's Beowulf Valley Theater Company. It's on 6th and Congress, and so it's right in the heart of downtown. We really want to be focused on the community specifically. So we're trying to, through various donations and grants, things like that, get it to where we can cover our operational costs, and then 100% of the single ticket sales would go back to another community organization. We've donated to the food bank before, and some other organizations. We've worked with Primavera, so we're really trying to help everybody out, help us, help them, all that good stuff.
You know, you're in a local band, and can you tell us a little bit, well, first off, what's the name of your band, and a little bit about your band?
The band is called In Search of a Word. We're just a bunch of friends that ended up getting together, and it's a fiddle player, which is Mariah McCammond, who just recently picked up the harp, which is going to be excellent, and Benjamin Hoffman, who plays bass and also ukulele and the djembe, and myself, who sings and plays guitar and ukulele. So we're kind of a little folky, a little bluesy, a little funny. When we play ukulele sets, we turn into the Ukes of Hazzard. So we like to have a good time. That's pretty much the only thing that I can say that we sound like, is that we sound like a good time.
Very good. Sounds like a good time. So, what would you say that your favorite style of beer is?
I like them all so much. Lately I've been drinking a lot of IPAs and probably ambers. IPA is great because, you know, it'll put hair in your chest. So, I like Gold Chains.
So, what would you say is the best decision you've made while having a beer? And then on the flip side of the coin, the worst decision you've made while having a beer?
Okay, well, I think worst decisions we don't talk about. The best decisions are several. To work with a nonprofit community theater company in downtown Tucson was over having a casual drink, deciding to finally go out there and play and sing in front of people and be in a band, and probably deciding to be on the show with you guys. So there's a lot of really good decisions made by drinking beer.
And our last and most important question, you can have any beer with any famous person, dead or alive. What's that person? What beer would you have with them?
Charlie Chaplin. Totally have a beer with Charlie Chaplin in a heartbeat. And then we would just twirl our canes and walk off awkwardly down the way and then get into mischief. It would be fantastic.
Right on. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Big ups to Mr. Grant Krueger, Mr. Chris Thompson, special guest Miss Tucci here at Union Public House. Good times, good beer, good food. We're gonna go see what it do for this art festival here at St. Philip's Plaza. Away.
Don't know which knuckles where anymore, so I'm quitting my singing ways. Oh, my singing.